Now I am going to show you how to integrate the Paystack payment gateway in Laravel 11 application. So I am going to the localhost main folder, that means www folder, and then there is a Laravel 11 here. So here I will install a fresh Laravel 11. So I am going to open the terminal in that location. Okay, so this is my terminal and location is into Laravel 11 folder, and I am going to create a fresh Laravel installation. So I am going to use the composer command, composer, then create project, then Laravel, and then I am going to create something, for example payment Paystack. Okay, so payment Paystack is going to be created here. Just wait for some times and the new Laravel will be installed. Yes, the installation is done, and you will see in the folder there is a folder that is payment Paystack. So now what I will do, now I am going to enter into that folder cd payment Paystack, and then I am here. Clear now? Okay, so here PHP artisan serve, this will open a development server. I am going to copy this, and in my browser I am going to paste it. You will see that a fresh Laravel Laravel 11 is installed here, and in the bottom you will see the version is Laravel 11.6. okay, so this is the welcome file. So I am going to do one thing. I am going to open this payment Paystack in my VS Code editor, and here I am going to open the env file. This file will be needed. Another important thing here is resources, views, welcome, and then there will be a route. So in the welcome, if I go to remove everything and put anything here, for example test, if I now run this, you will see that test is showing here. That means the welcome is actually the main view file that is running by the application. I will now follow some steps in order to integrate the Paystack, and now I am going to open a text file. Here you see Paystack Laravel 11.txt. I already have written some codes for easy implementation. Test card not needed here. So here for easy implementation I have wrote some codes here. So I will show you first the opening, how to open the account. I already have shown all the steps, and you know this how to work with these steps. Now I am going to the installation process. In order to install the Paystack, I am going to their documentation, and in the documentation in the left side you see there is a payments, and in the payments you will see there are a lot of options here, and I already have written where to go. Payments, accept payments. Okay, so here go to accept payments, and in the accept payments go to the bottom, and you will see there is a code given you here. One is HTML code and another one is JavaScript code. So these codes I will use in my page. I already have written how to modify that codes a little bit, and in the view what is the code I need to write I wrote here. So I am going to copy from this text file, and in my welcome.blade first I am going to call HTML. okay, so this is the structure of the HTML5, and now here I am going to paste the code. So I paste the code here. You see this is just h1 h3, that is the product name, and this is, you see, the price, and I am going to implement the African payment gateway. So the African currency you will have to use here. So NGN is on African currency, so I am going to give here NGN, and form ID equal to payment form, and form submit. This will actually your button, and here I call a JavaScript event on click, and the function is pay with Paystack. That function I call here in the bottom. All these codes you will get here. Okay, so form is this one, but what I did, I removed these things because these things are not needed in my case. So I removed these things. I only keep the button here, and if you go here you will see in the form only button is here, and the bottom JavaScript code that are given here I get into the JavaScript tab. and here they tell me how I will have to write the code. So I just copied all the codes here, but in some cases I had to change something. For example, you see there is a key, this is a public key, right? So I will have to replace this public key here. So this is very important. So in order to change the public key here, you see I call a environmental variable Paystack public key. For this reason, I will have to go my env file, and here in the bottom I will have to write some two variables, and I already have written it here how I will have to do that. One is Paystack public key and secret key. I am going to copy these two things from here, and in env file I paste it. Your test public key. So what is my public key? I will have to go here in the development, you see in the settings, then I will have to come API keys and webhooks, and here you see test secret key. So I am going to copy these things from here. This is my secret key, and I paste it here in this location. And another one you see test public key, so I copy it from here, and here in this location I paste it. Another important thing I am going to show you, that is test callback URL. When you will upload your website or your project into your web server, then you will have to set up this. That means you will have to write here https your website.com then / your callback route name. In my case it will be callback route, so you will have to write https / then your website name.com and then callback. Okay, so it will work in the web server perfectly without any problem. I will create a callback route. For example, in the web.php, this will be my route. What I will have to write here, I am going to copy it from my help file, this one, Paystack controller, and this all these things. So I copy this and paste it here. This controller I am going to call in the top. So I will have to create a controller, Paystack controller. So I am going to terminal. So here php artisan make controller and then Paystack controller. A controller is created now into the app, then into HTTP. You see Paystack controller. Just open this one. Okay, so controller is created successfully, and into the controller you see I call total 3 functions. One is callback function, another one is success, another one is cancel. Total 3 route I created here, and so there will be total 3 functions: callback, success and cancel. And you see in the bottom how I will have to call the functions here. This is callback and success and route is here, right? So I am going to do here going to call this callback function, and another 2 function is very simple, that is success and cancel. I am going to copy this and paste those functions here. In the success function I write just return payment is successful, and in the cancel function I write only payment is cancelled. All the important codes I will have to write here. But here you see this is a callback function and my route is callback, right? So it is important that in the test callback URL you will have to write your website name first. For example, my website URL is this, right? So I am going to copy and paste it here, and then I will have to call the route name where it will go. So in my case it is callback. So remember, you will have to use this way, like this what I used here. And if you upload your website into your web server, then you will have a website, right? Your website.com or something like that. So you will have to write your website name here, and if there is in any HTTPS, you will have to call the HTTPS there. And after calling your website name, then it will be route, callback route. Okay, so this is very important. Then you will have to change the callback URL should start HTTPS. Sorry, here it will be HTTPS. So here click on save changes, and the changes is done, right? So here what I will do now, I am now going to proceed into the next stage. That is env from env file, the Paystack public key it will be called. That means this key will be called, and then email address. Okay, if you go to the documentation, you will see that there is email address document.get email id email address.value, because they had something here, but I did not use this way, so I do not need to have the email address here. I straight put my email address because I have a login email address, so I put that here. And the amount, what amount you will give here, here what I did, I just write the amount of 1500. You see the product price is 15 NGN. 1500 means I had to multiply it by 100. So it is very important. What amount you will show the user to pay, you must have to multiply it by 100. And there is a metadata. This is an extra field I added that was actually not present here. And there is a reference. I removed the reference because it is not needed. Level not needed. I keep on close and callback. This is okay. But what I did on close is this. I did not change anything here because the alert box will come window closed, and callback here I changed something. But here there is a metadata. See that there are some metadata I put here, custom fields. That means in order to save the information into the database table after the successful transaction, then I must have to get some information here. So for that reason I just call the custom fields so that I get the item name here and the item quantity here. So display name, variable name, value, display name, variable name, value. In this way you can call the custom fields. You can add as many fields as you need here as a JSON type format. So that is not needed for me now. What I will do now, here you see after callback handler open, I did not change anything after that. Okay, so here in the callback function I changed something. That is, you see in the callback, let message equal to payment completed reference ID I get, and then the alert message will be shown that payment is completed and reference ID is this. So here the response dot reference, what is coming actually here. So you see that first time actually it was here like this. I am going to show you like this, right? So here you see response dot reference. A response is used in the function as the parameter, and the reference will come as the reference ID. So I am going to show you that now. I am going to run my application, and if I click on pay with Paystack, you will see a Paystack information comes, card transfer USSD. I am using card. Just click on success. Okay, so pay NGN on 5. So payment is successful. You see in the pop-up it is returning me a reference ID. This one is reference ID. So in the alert I show it, but I am not going to use that way. What I will do that is when I will get the message. So what is actually, this is a message, right? So if I want to stringify the reference, I am going to show this as a string. That means from the response I am going to actually show that complete response. It is showing only one variable from response, that was reference that you see, but I want to see what other variables are there. Okay, so I call that whole response, but you cannot straight call the response because you will have to stringify it, because it is a JSON response. So JSON just stringify, then you will be able to show that as a variable. So refresh. I am going to do the same step again, success pay NGN, and then you will see that the total response is showing here. So what data I am going to get? One is response that you already have seen, and some other things. For example, status is success, message equal to approved, transaction is this, transaction reference is this, redirect URL is the main URL that actually I will need, because when you are in this stage, if you can redirect it, so from instead of using the alert and showing everything, you will be redirected to the callback URL. That means callback route, where you will be redirected to this function. Actually you will come here. So that thing I will have to do now. So what I will have to do, I am going to close it, and I am going to use the JavaScript redirection. So that means window.location.href, and here where I will pass the information, that is the route callback. Okay, so route callback is the thing, and response.redirect URL, the response will come. How it will come? This response, you see I have this variable, and instead of showing all the data, I will only pick up the redirect URL. That means this one. Okay, so it will go to in this location, and here I will do something. So I hope you have understood. Here as a test I can check the request all. So what requests are coming, yeah, you can receive there. So again do the same thing, go here, see success. I am going again, and it is taking me to the with the transaction ID, and I have transaction ID, that means transaction reference and reference ID, these two things in my hand. So from here what I am going to get, that is I am going to get here all the request. So as I am going to get all the request without any issue here, so what I will have to do is I am going to use my this code. So reference equal to this, I am going to copy all the codes from here. Okay, so this one I stop now, and reference equal to request reference. So as I have all the request in my hand, so request reference mean who is data, this data. So with this data I am going into here, that is secret key equal to, from the environment variable I take the secret key, that means from here I get the Paystack secret key, and then call where I have got this code. In order to get this code, go to here documentation, and in the bottom you see verify payment. In the verify payment section you will get the, here you see call code. I am going to select PHP. It gives you some CURL code here, so I just use the code here in this location. So here what you will have to change, you will have to change this URL. Here transaction verify, here you will have to call the reference. Reference means request of reference. I put into a special variable reference, and that I call here. So that means the data you will have to pass here. They call it in this way, but as it is a PHP code, I have to call in this way. And what another thing I will have to use, authorization bearer. Here I will have to call the secret key that I get from the environment variable, right? So see here what they use here bearer, this is secret key, but here as it is a PHP code, I have to call in this way. And the response equal to this one CURL, and at last I JSON decode it. Okay, so what response I am going to get, let's check it. DD response, I am going to refresh it again. You see that in the response it is showing verification successful, and there is a data here, and here you see the status equal to success, and all other data I will have in the hand. So here you will see I also have here authorization metadata. This is important, right? In the metadata custom fields you will see I have total 2 metadata: display name, variable name, value, and here display name, variable name, value, laptop, and another one is quantity, right? So that thing I get into hand. So when I will have a metadata in my hand, you see metadata equal to response, data, metadata, custom fields. So first it is response, then data, and then metadata, and there is custom fields, then there is 0 and 1, right? So I put all these things into a variable here, metadata, and then custom fields. That means what? Metadata of 0. Metadata of 0 means first one, and here you see display name, variable name, value. So here I call value. So metadata 0 of value means actually who is on laptop. Metadata 1 of value means this one, and that means quantity, right? That I used afterwards. But you see all the metadata is working now. So if response metadata status success, that means if the payment is successful. A status equal to success means if the payment is successful, then I will save the data into the database table. So this is actually my task, and if I can complete this, my full task will be completed. So let's do that. In order to do that, I wrote some steps here in order to create database, tables, migration files, etc. I already have written the codes here. So I am going to copy the code from here, and in the terminal I am going to create a migration file now. And because I will create a table in my database, that's name will be payments table. So enter. You will see that into the database folder there is migrations, and this is the migration file, that is payments migration. And what will be here, I will have to write the custom fields, that is here. So I am going to copy this and paste it in this location. So I will have to create these table fields on its payment ID, product name, quantity, amount, currency, payment status, and payment method. You can save any information here. I just save some information in order to show you as a sample, but in real life you may have to add some more items, right? So here what I am going to do now, that is I am now going to here, and I will have to migrate it. But before going to that step, I will have to open the .env file. You see, by default the database selected is SQLite, but I will use MySQL. I call here MySQL, and I am going to make this one, and my database name will be, for example, Paystack. I want to create by this name, and my password is actually here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. In your case it will be different, I think, so just set up like this. Now I will call php artisan migrate. What will happen? There is no database by this name in my database php myadmin, so let's check it first. My php myadmin, if I go here, you will see that there is no database here. Payment Muli result. Okay, here by the name payment Paystack, there is no database, right? So it is asking me if it will create database. I will just press yes. So two things will be happen. One will be, that is, if I refresh it, you will see a new database comes here by the name payment Paystack. Also all the tables are created here because I run php artisan migrate. So now all the default tables will come, and my table that I created especially, that is payments table, it also comes. But in this table there is no information, but the fields, you see what fields you created are what fields you created comes here like this. In the structure you will see all the fields, but there is no information still yet. So when everything will be okay, then in the Paystack controller in the top, I will have to call the model. So app models payment, because I will use the eloquent system to insert the data into the database. So here you see I call the payment, this is my model, but there is no model I created. So I will have to create the model now. php artisan make model, that is payment. It is the singular name of the table. So in the models folder you will see payment.php, this model code comes. So you will now be able to use the model in the top, and then you will be able to use this function in this way. So here payment id equal to reference, you know I already have data in my reference in this variable, that is reference id. And product name, I already told you that the metadata 0 means actually the product, first product, laptop. Here in this case metadata 0 of value, right? So this is my product name. Quantity is 1 because metadata 1 is quantity 1. So this value equal to the main quantity. Amount means response data amount. If you go here, you will see that in the response there is data and there is the amount. Amount means 1500. That means if I want to get the actual amount, I will have to divide it by 100, then I will get the main data. And currency is response data currency, that if you come here you will see the currency is given here, that is NZN. And after that the payment status I write straight here, that is completed, and payment method is Paystack. Okay, fine. And object save means the data will be saved into the database, and then it will redirect me to the success route. Success route means in the success function I will come and it will show payment is successful. And if there is response status not success anyhow, then it will take you to the cancel route, means you will see this message payment is cancelled. So let's check it now. You see there is no data into here now, and I am going back, refresh it, and another place I am going to check the transaction. That is the transactions section. You see I changed a lot of transaction I already have made, but I did not did anything. So all the transactions for the testing purpose in the previous steps that I did all showing here. So I am going to do one thing, that is in the welcome I am going to change the price. So price equal to, for example, 80. Okay, 80 NZN. Then here in here I call here 80. Okay, now let's check if the transaction is coming here without any issue. So now refresh, you see 80 NZN will be paid now. I am going to click here, and then success, pay engine 80, payment successful. After the success, after everything is successful, you are seeing that payment is successful. It takes you to the success route. Now check this, I am going to refresh. If that comes here, you will see all the transactions here. So 80 should come here in the top. So just wait for some time. Okay, transactions, it is pulling the data. So after loading, you will see that the engine 80 comes here. Okay, so this is the reference and this is the engine 80, and the date time is showing here. And another place I am going to check, that is if the data is saved into the table. So refresh it, you see the payment ID is this, product name this, quantity is this, amount this, currency, status and payment method. You see this is the payment ID that is showing as a reference here. So the Paystack payment gateway in Laravel 11 is working perfectly.